the same time. So this is the rundown for today is the April 7th, 2021, Relax Teams, Team Central Jersey. And we should be live in a second. All right. So we are live. And to go through myself, my name is Dennis Harabin. I'm the founder of Relax Tax. What we do, we take a holistic approach to individuals' personal finances. Tax is important, but tax in a vacuum is useless. You really need to understand the insurance, debt, and taxes all work together as a leverage point. We've identified areas where what makes the biggest impact, what separates the people thriving from the people surviving. And it's really how well they use these three tools together. Tax, insurance, and debt used in a vacuum will get you in trouble. Used properly will excel you to the next level. And that's what we do. We give you the architect and plan. We don't even care if we do your taxes, actually. Well, we're fine about just giving you the plan to be able to do it right. Next up, we have Paul, who was not able to make it today. So we'll jump into Lisa.
Good morning. My name is Lisa Devorin, and I'm a lifestyle consultant with an amazing wellness company called Vfinity. Our goal is to help people lose the unhealthy weight, regain their health, and live their best lives. There's a new study that came out a few weeks ago that said in the last year, Americans put on an additional 25 pounds. And 90% of Americans who lose weight regain it. Vfinity is the first plan that puts the tools in your toolbox to help, and has helped thousands of people take off the weight and keep it off. So if you're looking for a simple plan that works with a busy lifestyle, this is it. The plan, the education, the support are all free. It's about helping people lose weight and feel great again. To learn more, visit my website at stayhealthylivebetter.com. And if you go to the plan, I'll send you a free copy. Up next is Candido.
Good morning, everybody. My name is Candido Rodriguez. I'm a financial advisor with Northwestern Mutual. And what I do and what I'm passionate about is helping families and individuals achieve their dreams and goals by developing a plan that would allow them to get further than they've ever been before. Everything that has to do, we've done some level of planning at some point. So, but everything that has to do with, what you want to achieve, when you want to achieve it, we help you get there. If more people have a written plan in hand, it will be easier to achieve those goals and dreams when it comes to education planning, retirement, life insurance, and disability. My name is Candido Rodriguez, and I pass it to Desiree.
Good morning, everyone. My name is Desiree Halleck, and I'm the owner of Clarence Services, which is a marketing agency for startups and small businesses. And I help small businesses grow with simplified and affordable marketing plans by doing things like email marketing, lead nurturing campaigns, doodle videos, social media maintenance, content marketing, and also chief marketing officer services at a fraction of the cost of having a full-time person. You can watch me at 5-Minute Marketing on YouTube, and you can go to my website at clarenceservices.com. And next up is Jonas, but he's not here.
Jonas is not here, so we'll skip forward to George.
Hey, yes, my name is George Pizzo. The name of my company is Caring Transitions. The transition being when you are selling a house that you've lived in for many years and transitioning into a new phase in your life. The services we provide include estate sales to liquidate some of your belongings, handling donations, and then doing a final clean out of the house. It's George with Caring Transitions. And we hand it over to Raquel.
And Rochelle's not here today, so we will, and Tracy was another one who mentioned she wasn't going to be able to make it today because of scheduling, and so was Marlena. Alana, didn't get an email from her, but I think, yeah, no, she's not here. So, Randy, you are up.
Hey guys, sorry I'm driving, but hello, my name is Randy Morgan, M&T Bank, Senior Relationship Banker in Parsippany. What I really wanted to talk today about was, I ran into a lot of parents this year who, since the pandemic, they're sitting around and they're kind of thinking about what they're going to do for their kids' future. And one of the big things they don't really teach in school is finances or just banking in general. So a lot of times they run into a problem where they go to a bank and, they don't make really accounts for kids, or they're heavy with fees. We actually introduced something called My Way Banking a few years back. And it's actually designed for kids. So they'll get a debit card. They don't need to write checks because, what kid is really writing checks anymore anyway? And the big thing about it too is there's no overdrafting and there's no fees. So if you'd like to learn more, my name is Randy Morgan, M&T Bank, Senior Relationship Banker, Parsippany. Thank you.
Thanks, sir. Jeannie, you are up. I know you're featured today, but you still have your 45 seconds.
Well, thank you. I appreciate that. Good morning, everyone. My name is Jeannie Asante, and I am the owner of I Dream of Jeannie, which is a portfolio of companies. Today, I want to highlight identity theft protection. And the reason that I want to do that is I want you to ponder this question, because I am going to be the featured speaker today. If someone should steal your identity and decide that they want to build a whole new life predicated on your name, your credit, your address, and your life, would you know how to stop them? And if they get through, how to get it back? Just think about that for a few minutes and we will talk a little bit later. Thank you so much. Jeannie Asante.
Okay, Mark. Is Mark here? Mark is not here. Okay. Jake, you are up.
Good morning, everyone. I am Jake Miola, also known as Jake the Insurance Guy. I help my clients to really dig deep into their home and auto insurance, also includes renters, RV, boat, all that good stuff, but to really understand what their coverage means and help identify any gaps that they have, because there's a lot of people driving out there that should know better and don't. A lot of lawyers running around with state minimum coverage makes no sense to me. So I help them understand what's important, and then we help shop it around to find the best price for the right coverage. So if you know anybody who has been with the same company for over a year, definitely send them my way. They're probably missing out, and we want to make sure that they're protected. I also run an online used bookstore with a friend, royalreadersbookstore.com. Not on the slide, but fun side note. Thank you.
Excellent. And not sure why Chris's end slide. Chris isn't here, but let me see. Oh, there it is. Okay. You're up, Tim.
Hey, can you hear me?
Yes, we can.
Hey, everybody. My name is Tim Stallery. I'm a videographer, editor. As a working journalist for more than 25 years, I'm a professional storyteller. I'm an artist who uses images and sounds and words and deep research to tell stories. My work has been recognized with many awards, including 3 Mid-Atlantic Regional Emmy Awards. I've spent the last 10 years shooting a variety of projects and editing on Final Cut Pro 10, as well as other digital video editing systems and some web-based platforms. I feel that what I do is, I always give my best and I always give a fair price. And I do, as we were talking about before, I do a lot of pro bono stuff for nonprofits and historical societies, places where I'm, like I'm a member of the Somerset County Historical Society. So I see my most important thing for them as shooting video. So when we go to work on the various properties we have, I always bring the iPhone. I'm always make sure that I'm gathering video for eventually that, the ribbon cutting video that ultimately will happen for the property. And I used to say I'll shoot anything but weddings and porn. I'm going to phase that out for a more professional approach. So that's going to be the last time that you guys hear that one.
All right. Thank you, sir. And we're going to change this to Chris from Stonehill because I know you guys alternate. So I'm going to change the card to Chris from Stonehill. So Chris, you want to go ahead?
Yeah, how you doing? I'm Chris Ternansky from Stonehill Financial, filling in for Chris Nichols today. I handle the group health benefits and 401k aspect of it, but we do all aspects of individual retirement planning and wealth management. But in group health benefits, I'm not just the guy who gets you a medical and dental card. I'm going to be the guy that works with you all this, through all the nasty steps, through all the claims issues, and also try to find out if you have a retirement plan and a wealth management plan, and if we can do better with that. So come on over. The water's fine here at Stonehill Financial. We'd love to have you.
Excellent. Thank you so much. Next up, Robert.
Good morning, everybody. Robert Bura, your friendly neighborhood public adjuster, your public advocate for all things related property insurance, commercial and residential. I'm somewhat new to this group, and there's a lot of people in this group who I have not had a one-on-one with. I would love to have that opportunity. I also put in the chat a link. I was selected by AT&T Small Business Expo. If anybody doesn't know about that, they have these virtual business expos online all over the country. I'm being featured in the one on April 22nd, looking for as much support for people to register and attend, because I'm trying to become a regular in that. As people may or may not know, I work for the only nationwide public adjusting company in the country. Thanks. And who's next is Lisa. Is she here?
Yes, she is. I know Lisa spoke earlier. Are you still with us, or did you bounce off?
I don't see
Looks
her.
like she bounced off. So I'll do it for her. Lisa, it is Lisa with Heart. She does CPR training. I can speak for it because I know my wife was in a panic. She got supposed to have CPR, signed up for it almost a year in advance, waiting for it. They canceled in the last minute her class, so she'd already paid for everything. For less money, she got a one-on-one service with Lisa. Said she was amazing, loved her to death. My wife needed it for her nursing. Her license was up, and Lisa came through for her. Just highly recommend Lisa for you or your group. Chris, you are up, sir.
And I can second that as well. Lisa's great. So, hey, everybody, I'm Chris Lipper, and I founded On the Bus Sales Training Coaching Consulting 11 years ago to work with business owners and people that sell in general, and formed a community. And in our community, we have weekly events, and they range from networking to sales training classes to virtual bus meetings where we put owners on a bus together and they share challenges and opportunities and hold each other accountable. So we always have something going on, lunch and learns. There's a lot. Visit our website onthebus.biz and you can see in the events area, there's always something up. What we've worked on recently was, how many people here have a goal for why you're here today? And, I coach Jeannie, and I know Jeannie has a goal, and it's probably to get 2 one-to-ones. And when you go on the one-to-ones, it isn't to sell, right? It's to ask for referrals. But do you know what to do once you get the referral? So we just spent 2 classes reviewing that. And then our next class is on role playing, on what to do in that interaction during that hour meeting. So if you know somebody that could use coaching like that, that's a great referral for me. And even more important, I'm a good referral for them. Thanks. Chris Lipper, On the Bus Sales Training Coaching Consultant.
Excellent. And we have everyone except for Anthony, who's our guest here today. Anthony, would you like to have 45 seconds, say what you do, who you are and what you do? Are you still there with us?
All right, hello everyone. My name is Anthony Guzman, and what I do is I'm a consultant for risk management consulting firm. I recently made the move. I actually worked with Dennis at Liberty Mutual. It was in the insurance industry as well. I work for USI Insurance Services. Essentially, we are a data analytical company. So what we do is we focus on small, commercial to mid-market businesses. We use our analytical data, assess their risk, and present solutions. And so I really recently came into this position, and I was looking to see the network with people just to get an idea of how the market's going, how the small businesses are operating, and to give some insight in the industry. So I'm glad to speak with all of you guys. I love hearing all your stories, and I appreciate Dennis inviting me in.
Yeah, Anthony, I definitely want to have a one-on-one. I thought you were still doing traditional sales, but I definitely want to hear more about this from the data analytics side. You aren't actually doing exactly what Jake is doing, so I definitely want to hear more about it on a one-on-one. Thank you so much for attending.
Okay.
All right, so here's just a quick rundown of available spots. We do have some spots available. As you know, we cap it at 30 professionals. So if you're watching at home or watching somewhere or see this video later, we have 30, everyone gets one per industry. We have the specialties, and here's some of the specialties that we are looking for still. Staffing, home improvements, landscapers, plumbers, any of the tradesmen, travel professionals, DJs, entertainment, party. We do accept wedding photographers, except we're looking for personal training, funeral directors, IT firm. If there's someone with jewelry, multi-level marketing jewelry, nonprofits, moving, storage, just to name a few. So you don't need to be in one of these industries that we mentioned, but as one professional per industry going forward. So then it's free to join. This is our primary beta group where we test everything. So there's never be a fee once you hold your membership. And with that, we are done sharing screen, and I will, let me see if I can hand over the mic to our featured speaker, Jeannie.
Well, good morning, everyone. Did you make me a co-host so I can do screen share, please?
Anyone, yeah, any participant should be able to screen share. So go ahead if you have trouble.
Perfect. So before I share my screen, I just wanted to share a little bit about myself. Not a lot, but I do want to tell you a little bit about me, and because most of the people in this group do not know who I am. And my name is Jeannie Asante. I hail from the Staten Island market. I'm really excited that not only can I be global in every business that I have, and I'm going to go into that in about a second, but I love the idea that we can reach out to people much easier now than we were in the past. You know, it was always get in the car, drive an hour, sit with them, rush around, think about the next meeting that you're going to. And now it's just all about getting on Zoom. So I'm really thrilled that this platform is taking off in the direction that it's taken off. And some people, a lot of people are actually using it, not just to their benefit in business, but also personal. You're having birthday parties on there. You're having, anniversaries. You're having Friday night wine, parties and all this kind of stuff. That one I particularly love. But most importantly, I think it's important that we get the chance to not just, get to know people, but you get to know people a little bit more, because I think that when someone is sitting in their own home or in their own comfort zone, they become more comfortable talking to the people that they're talking to, rather than being in a strange place. At least that's my take on it. So I pretty much love this Zoom platform, and I just wanted to put that out there. So I'm ready to talk to anybody on Zoom and to sit with you guys and just, talk about whatever. It could be business, it could be personal, whatever it is that you feel is important to you. So let's put that out there. But, I do have a portfolio of companies, and the reason that I'm bringing that out is because I was told many years ago, never put all my eggs in one basket, right? So I'm just putting that out there to let you guys know that I am not just a person that flies around from one business to the other. I'm not a person that's a fly by night that doesn't take her businesses seriously. I take every single one of them as serious as I would take anything else that I would do in my life. But I do know that I like to keep myself busy and I like to keep going. And to me, being a multiple business owner just makes more sense in my life. And so I'm thrilled to put that out there. I do have 3 amazing boys, men actually. They're men and having their own children now, which is really very exciting. And they're very productive children, which I'm kind of proud of. That I've been a single parent my whole life, so I've always been that person that was, it was up to me. It was up to me, and it was up to me, right? So that's what kind of made me who I am and molded me into what I am. And sometimes I sit there, and more times than none, and I'll say, I'm kind of like a bull in a china cabinet, right? I run into a room, I just kind of like do what I gotta do, and then I run out and I leave my mark. And I found that was cute when I was young, right? That it was adorable when I was young, but not so much anymore, right? Now people look at me and they're like, look at that crazy lady running in the room or running into a Zoom, doing what she wanted to do, and then just running out like a crazy person. And okay, what did she really do? So, but today I really just want to talk about identity theft protection. And the reason that I want to talk about identity theft protection is because of the question that I put out earlier during my 45-second presentation. A lot of people are hearing about how people are getting compromised, how they're getting hacked into, how it's just really insane that we don't even know that it's happening unless we go looking for it, right? So it's not like any other kind of insurance. It's not like car insurance. You got hit. You got to call your agent, right? You know, not like medical insurance, you got sick. Okay, you got to call your medical insurance and let them know that you need some medical care, right? It's not like a death benefit. Somebody passed away and you know you need to call them to be able to let them know so that the benefits can be paid out. This is more like, oh my God, I got hit blindsided big time right across the top of my head with a sledgehammer because somebody just decided to take my identity or take my loved one's identity and just either use or misuse it. And I don't know about you guys, but that rattles me a little bit. It just really rattles me just a bit. And I'll tell you why. I'm always connected to the internet. Always. 24/7. Even when I'm sleeping, I don't turn my devices off. Who here can join me on that? So there's always somebody, right? There's always somebody searching you and looking for you and just kind of just trying to find out what they can do. And I don't know if you guys understand how, you know, not just important this kind of insurance is for you, but how important it is to protect your loved ones along with it. So I'm just going to give you a couple of quick stories, and then I'm going to show you what the program is all about. Fair enough? Great. Here we go. So the first thing I want to tell you about is a story about a young lady who had a roommate. She was, oh gosh, she was so, you know, carefree with her information because it was her apartment, right? How many times do we leave our license or our wallet sitting on the kitchen table? Right? If somebody comes into the house, it's one of the things I always told my children, whoever you bring home, just make sure that you trust this person because sometimes there's going to be things out that we don't want this person to see, right? Not necessarily bad, but we don't want to leave our information out. But so important that she did the same, it was so important to know that she did the same thing. She just left her stuff around the house because it was her home. She was very comfortable. Come years and years later, police officers came knocking on her door on a Friday afternoon after she came home from work to arrest her for things that this other girl had done in her name and made a whole new life with her social, her date of birth, everything. Now, she did end up going to jail for the weekend. Very unnerving, I would say, right? That she sat in a jail cell for a weekend because they picked her up on a Friday afternoon. And I don't know about you guys, but years ago, they used to do that, right? They used to pick you up on a Friday afternoon and you knew you couldn't get to an attorney or to a judge until Monday morning. That was just a whole, you know, street joke that went around. But she really got picked up on a Friday afternoon. She spent the weekend in jail. And then she had to, you know, instead of proving that she didn't do something, or that she was, instead of saying that she was innocent and she, you know, they had to prove her guilty, she was already guilty and she had to prove innocence. So she had to run around, get an attorney that nobody knew what kind of attorney even to get. What was it, criminal? Was it a tax attorney? What kind of attorney do you need for this? Nobody knew at the time. And so she had to run around and find an attorney that can help her through this. And so much money later, she ended up getting her identity back and this other woman ended up getting caught. I can't tell you the years and the energy that it put into that, not to mention it drained her bank account. And that's one story. You know, there's another story where just more recently, there was a gentleman that, you know, decided to sign up for identity theft protection and he, you know, put all his information in and all of a sudden he got a whole bunch of crazy alerts of things that have been going on in his life that he had no idea was going on. And he didn't know what to do with this information. You know, and you know, once it happens, it's really a challenge to bring it back. Did anybody, you know, gain weight, right? So easy to gain it. How hard was it to get rid of it? It's kind of like the same concept, right? It's easy for them to get your information. It's hard for you to get it back. And so interesting how this particular guy decided that he wanted to make sure that his parents were also protected. And so when they did that, they were getting ready to transition into a assisted living home. And they found that when they wanted to transfer the home over to the children, that they did not own the home free and clear like they thought they did. Someone had put mortgage on their home. And someone took that money. And all the notes and the letters and everything were going to an alternative address. Now, until they decided to go through this transition and be able and get IDCL and check out everything and make sure everything was in order, they had no idea because who's checking? Their house is paid for. They were paying their taxes on time. They were paying their insurance on time. They paid their water bill on time. So nobody was really looking to see what was going on. In the meantime, there was a huge loan put on this home, so they no longer own it. Now they're right now going through the challenge of trying to figure out what, where, when, how to fix all this mess, because it is a big mess. right? So obviously he got identity theft protection to make sure that nothing else happens to his parents. And here's the big one, guys. How many of us know someone who has children or have children of their own that are under 18? Almost everyone on this call, right? Now, when the child is born, they get a date of birth, a name, a social security number, and they have an address. All these things are put into the hospital computer. Now, the main word there is computer. That computer system can be hacked in by anyone. Now, it's not the hospital's fault that someone got that information. It's just that the hackers are that good. You know, we perfected our craft, they're perfecting theirs. And the more that we block them, the more that they perfect, and the more that they infiltrate. And we want to make sure that that doesn't happen in our lives. But let's go back to the children for a minute. I know for my children alone that I never checked their social or whatever was going on in their lives until they were ready to go to college. I would say 16 or 17 is when I checked. So there was 16 to 17 years that someone could have taken their identity and misused it. Now, luckily it didn't happen to my children, but it did happen to a friend of mine. So she went to the dealership. She was getting her son a car because she wanted to give him a car a year before he started going to college so that she would feel comfortable that he was driving around, right? And he would feel a little more comfortable as well. And while she was sitting there, she said, "Oh, great idea. Let me put his name on the car because we could start building a credit for this young man who's going to be an adult soon." And so they decided to put his name on the car. They gave the car dealership all the information that they needed. And guess what? It came back that he already owned 3 houses and 2 cars at the young age of 16. Nobody knew that that happened. Now, this happened to have been a personal friend of mine, and it happened many years ago before identity theft was even anything that people would think about, right? If it didn't happen to you, you didn't think about it, right? But I want to say to you that it took her over $50,000 to straighten this mess out. He missed out on 1.5 years to almost 2 years of college because they couldn't even get a loan with his name on it to bring him to college, and the parents didn't have that kind of money to pay for college and pay for the attorney to fix the mess that he got, that he was presented with, which wasn't his fault, obviously. But yet in the same token, you're talking years and years later, like even more than a decade here, that every so often when he does something large, when he decides to refinance his house, when he decides that he's going to buy a car, or he decides he's going to do some sort of major money move, this pops up. He's got to dig out that paperwork. He's got to update that paperwork, and he's got to prove himself again that it wasn't him. So this is going to follow him for a very long time. Nobody ever really thinks about that. But here's something that's really interesting. Did anybody here ever change their address and move? Get an address change? You go to the post office. Do you know where they sent the verification of your address change? To your new home. They don't send it to your old home. Ah, yeah.
I don't know. I think they sent both addresses because it just happened to me.
Well, maybe they just changed it, but
yeah.
Until recently, they were sending it just to your new home. So people who have had identity theft compromises on either credit or what, they would take the address and send all the stuff to the new home. Now, they didn't forward, because you can't forward credit card information. They don't allow that forwarding, right? So you never knew what was happening, because still your credit card statements, your bank statements, all that stuff was still coming to your regular home, because those you have to actually change with the institution. But if they opened the new credit card, or they opened up a new loan under the new address, that's where everything is going to go, and you would never know. And that's how my girlfriend's son ended up being compromised so badly, because everything was going to the other address. So they had no idea it was happening. So guys, I can't imagine not wanting to be the hero in my family and friends' life, and letting them know that having identity theft protection is something that they need to really just hone into and check out. Whether it's for them or not, like health insurance and everything else is always an option, but it's something that you want to know about at least, right? You want to know what your options are at least. That's always the smart thing, to have all the information and make a decision on all the information when you agree, right? So this is what we're going to do right now. I'm going to share my screen really quickly. And I'm just going to go through. I'm sorry, give me 1 second. Now it didn't come up when I shared my screen. Let me stop the sharing and do it again. So I'm just going to go through it really quickly, just to give you an idea of what identity theft, how does it work? How does protection work? A lot of us hear about it, but we don't know how it works. We don't know what it's actually doing for us. So this particular company, ID seal your ID so nothing ever gets stolen, right? And give them nothings to seal, get ID seal. What I loved about this particular company is there's no incremental packaging. There is no, oh my God, you're not going to call me up and say A, B, and C happened, and I'm going to go like this. You weren't covered for that in your package. You're either covered or you're not. There's no in between with this particular company, which is why I was so attracted to it. Now, of course, you just get enrolled. It's really simple. It's nothing really crazy. You get a link, you go on it, you get enrolled, just like anything else we do right now on the computer. But here's what you're going to get right away. You're going to get monitoring and alerting right away to what is going on with your personal information. You're going to get a wide range of potential threats to your identity is going to be revealed to you right away. They're going to be able to detect if anything is happening in your identity right off the chart, which is really great. And like I said before, somebody signed up and he was getting alerts like this. And he was just wondering what has been going on my whole life that I haven't been paying attention to. And so he was really thrilled that he got this. And, you want to make sure that you're not compromised. This is a US-based fraud solution center, which means that they're there 24/7 for you to make sure that you are able to resolve any kind of issues that may come up. And the reimbursement was one of the other things that really attracted me to this. There's a zero deductible and a $1 million reimbursement. What does that mean? Well, my girlfriend had paid over $50,000 for attorneys, and therefore she couldn't afford to do many things that she wanted to do in life. If she had identity theft protection, or if it was available to her at the time, that she wouldn't have had to take that money out of her bank account. The company, because they're taking responsibility that happened, would have paid that bill. So that's big, I think. I know, actually. So what are you covered for? Well, you're covered for your three bureaus, all three. You get monitored and you get scores a couple of times a year, not just once. So if something should happen in incremental in between, you're going to know about it. Of course, you have identity theft insurance. They check court and criminal records. So, this girl, they were looking for her for the longest time. If she had this, they would have been checking her court and criminal records. It would have popped up that, oh God, they have a warrant out for your arrest. Be careful, somebody's coming to your door to come get you eventually, right? Social media marketing monitoring, very important, because people are just like hacking Facebooks and trying to get into your accounts online and trying to get into your LinkedIn. They're trying to break into these areas, and you want to make sure that it's safe and secure, not just for you, but for everyone on your platform as well. And that includes your family, friends, and your customers. The dark web monitoring, I don't know if you guys are aware, but every year, Las Vegas has a dark web seminar on how to break into the dark web. Now, I've never gone, but I hear it's very entailed and very detailed, and they just teach you how to get in there. And that's a little scary. Social security number trace, they're always checking to make sure no one's trying to use your social bank account takeover monitoring. I had money being moved from one of my accounts to another. And it was really devastating to me a little bit, but IDCL ended up, not only uncovering it, but alerting me. So I was able to make sure that I changed the accounts immediately and nothing major happened. But let me tell you what, I have a solar company, and that means that I funnel a lot of money through my accounts on the solar world. And none of that money, well, most of that money is not mine. It's for equipment or for permitting. And if that money had disappeared somewhere, I would have been in a lot of trouble. I would have been in financial ruin. And that to me was huge, that I was able to have that on my back or watching them, having them watch my back. And then real-time authorization. Now this is a personal one for me just recently, because I went to go get a car and I said to the guy, listen, whatever you do, don't do a credit check on me. Don't do anything. When I'm ready to buy and the numbers look good, I promise you, I'm not going to waste your time. my credit is good. This is the number that you're going to find. And, you know, we're going to be okay. But I really don't want anything checked. I don't want my credit touched until I'm ready to make the purchase, which I thought was a very fair ask of the salesperson. So, you know, that they can actually take your name and your address and just do a simple check to make sure that you are credit worthy. They might not get a credit score, but they're going to know that you're credit worthy and that you're a customer they're going to want to deal with. So as I'm sitting there, he goes into the back to speak to the manager, as they often do, to give you a, you know, that preliminary pricing that they do. And as he was doing that, I get an alert on my phone from my identity theft that I'm being checked. When the guy came out, I said to him, when he came out with the numbers, I said to him, you know, I thought I asked you, please, not to check my credit. I don't like my credit, you know, played with until I'm ready to do whatever transaction is going on in any which way. And, you know, I worked really hard to get it to where it is, right? And he said to me, I didn't. And I looked at him and I said, well, my ID protection alert says different. Because not only does it say my credit was checked, but it was said it was checked by your company. So, you know, needless to say, it showed me a couple of things. One, it showed me that this company is working, which excited me because I said, oh my God, this is really great. But two, it showed me I didn't want to do business with that particular company, because their word right away didn't mean anything. So to me, that was important to have real-time notification. You know, ID Seal also, you know, gives you an app that you put on your phone or any device that you want, so you can have easy access to everything that's going on. Lost wallet protection, really important that you're not worried about, you know, your stuff being replaced. Because, you know, when you lose your wallet, your ID and everything is in there, right? What do you need to get everything back? Your ID and everything that was in there. I can't tell you what it's like to get your stuff back from when you lose your wallet. It's just insane. I know someone who just went through that. And of course you have 24/7 support, which is really the most amazing thing. I love the idea that you can just pick up the phone 24 hours a day, no matter what's going on in your life, and you're able to have this fixed. But there's just one last thing that I want to bring up before I call it a close or start taking any questions. And the one last thing that I want to bring up is, you know, a lot of us know a lot of children that have been bullied, and we know that the statistics are really crazy. Mostly that if you have a child that is being bullied, 98% of those children will not report being bullied. They won't. They just don't. And it's terrible, because it's leading into, you know, how they become adults, how they react to things later on in life. It's leading in the suicide rate as well for young children. And so we want to be able to protect them. And so what this company has taken on is they're taking on where they're watching your child, grandchild, niece, nephew, whoever it is that you put on your account, their social media, and certain words will trigger whether they're being bullied or not online. And so what they'll do is they'll alert you and let you know that these words are being used on their social media. You may want to check into what's going on in your child's life. This is not something we ever had before. And I don't know about you guys, but I take the responsibility of our children to the heart, because they are the future of our country. They are the future of our world. And I want our future to be safe for them. And if we can't help them be safe or make them feel safe, who will? Right? So guys, with that being said, any questions?
And I was gonna say, we're at the 9 o'clock hour. So again, if anyone has to jump for meetings or anything, feel free, and we'll stay on as long as we need to. Okay. Thanks, everybody. Go ahead, Jeannie, or whoever was gonna ask Jeannie a question. Go ahead.
I have a question. So what are the prices for?
Oh, okay, great. So I want to tell you that, you know, for a monthly fee, and thank you so much for bringing that up. I totally forgot to pull that page up. It's $28.99 a month, or you could do it quarterly and you'll save a month a year. Or if you do it yearly, you get 2 months free.
Thank you.
So it can be as little, and I know it sounds a little bit like a sales pitch, but it is what it is. It can be as little as 75 cents a day, which is like $4 less than a cup of coffee. If you go to Starbucks, it's like what, $5.25 for a small coffee? Personally, I don't even like, but we're not going to get into that little subject. But if you think about it, 75 cents a day to protect yourself and your family is nothing. We spend more than that on things that make nothing for us.
And how many people can you have on your account to have covered? Or do you pay?
Great question. So let me not shock you here, but you can have only one adult per contract, but you can have up to 10 children on the family plan. I'm not telling you to go out and have 10 children because it's not one of my goals either. But I will say, but I will say this, you know, we have nieces and nephews, grandchildren, and we can, as long as we have their information and their parents' permission, we can add them on. So for instance, my children, they all have their own identity theft protection, but their children are all on mine. And I want to tell you, it only costs $6 more a month. So for $6, I'm protecting all my nieces, my nephews, and my grandchildren.
And so if it's a husband-wife, you have to have two?
Yes.
Which is?
You can't blend two people's identities. That's making a bigger mess than anybody who steals your identity can make.
Okay.
And anyone in the financial world knows that that can happen. Thank you. Great question, Lisa. Anybody else? Well, guys, I'm honored that I was on today and that you guys actually took interest in what I had to say. It's always a great feeling